Hey everybody, this is Brad from Third Eye Blind.
Hey, it's your boy Stephan.
And this is What's in My Bag, Home Edition.
So look, Chastity Belt. Chastity Belt is one of the bands that we covered. I love this band. You cannot play like this band. We saw them in Berlin. They just don't sound like anybody else. They have this sense of giving each other space. So many bands, everyone's just trying to like get their spot and like dig into it. Oh, I didn't even know that has a poster.
I actually bought most of these records used, digging around in the used crates at Hollywood Amoeba. Most of them were $1. Right at the beginning, letter A, AC/DC, Highway to Hell. I have a vivid memory of my friend in the 4th or 5th grade playing this record for me, and the title track comes on, the guitar riff starts, and then he air drummed where the drums drop. And in that moment, the drumsticks that were in my closet and some of the music I was already listening to came together, and the world actually made more sense to me in that moment. And that was sort of a really seminal moment for me in terms of my love of music and playing the drums. So this record really kind of made everything, kind of was the beginning for me.
Potty Mouth. This is like SoCal bliss punk meets like East Coast Juliana Hatfield meets a lot of go-go's, like cocaine go-go's. And they opened for us we played a little tiny gig at the Roxy to try out some new music. And these guys showed up like it was just like they were gonna crush everybody. It kind of reminded me of that spirit. I really like the song 22. The Black Pumas. This record, this is a deep ass sounding record. This record is a record that you need to listen to on headphones. Put it on, put the headphones on, sit in front of the turntable and go through this stuff. They produced and engineered and mixed this record. Who does that? I wish I could do that. If you took Alabama Shakes and then kept going, and you met up with Gnarls Barkley and some Otis Redding, and then you used only old shit to record it with, you still would not unlock the magic that is the Black Pumas.
When I was 15 or 16, I grew up in the suburbs, but I really got into funk and R&B around then. And I don't exactly know why. I don't remember who introduced it to me. Maybe my drum teacher or something. But I just loved how James Brown's music, I loved how all the instruments fit together. Every instrument is playing a contrasting rhythm, but they all come together and make this kind of amazing amalgam. And it really kind of informed how I think about rhythm and drum parts and how instruments, how the rhythms that they play fit together. So, James Brown, huge.
Harlem, this album, Hippies. This album costs $25. This album is worth $50. This is the best band ever to come out of Tucson, Arizona. If the Gang of Four and Susie and the Banshees made really, really cool looking babies, they would make the Dirty Ghosts and it would sound accordingly. And then Chrissie Hynde would join the band. It would sound like Chrissie Hynde was in the Gang of Four and would just be incredibly cool. The Gruesomes. It's the Beatles and the Ramones. They're just ripping off the Beatles and ripping off the Ramones together, and it doesn't work, but it made it into my record pile. And here's the thing, go ahead and try it. Like I get records and just try them, and if I don't like them, you can wrap them up and give them as gifts. And everybody always likes getting records as gifts.
Next up, about 1990 or 91, I moved to Oakland. This is right before I met Third Eye Blind. And this record came out, Dr. Dre, Chronic. And all the R&B and funk records that I had become familiar with were sort of reimagined and modernized, and what resulted was this. And this record, just everybody around me at least was into this record, and it sort of wiped clean everything that had happened in music up to that point, and it was sort of a fresh new start and era for music, especially in Oakland at that time. Dr. Dre, Chronic. Super dope.
Alright, this is a really, really old one. Talking about bands who can play. This is the Police. They have entirely their own sound. It's all led by Stuart Copeland's drumming. Everything is driven by him. It's like somebody who just took a hold of their time and set the rhythm to it. Regarding Blanc, it's probably their best record. I like hearing these guys just playing and not second guessing themselves. And also, like, this record sounds rushed. It sounds like they were in a hurry. It sounds like studio time was expensive. It sounds like there was nothing good in the studio to eat, so they had to get fixed and focused on it. This one's been sold multiple times. I saw this in the record store and I was like, yeah, I have to get this because I've owned this record since I was a little kid.
And finally, I will go with Who's Next? One of my favorite drummers of all time, Keith Moon, on it's the last track on this record, Won't Get Fooled Again. It's one of the best drum performances, recorded performances on any record in rock and roll history for sure. I just love it. It's controlled, but it's chaotic. It just has so much spirit, which is why I love Keith Moon's playing. And then the song also has, one of the best rock and roll screams of all time. And the lyrics are as politically relevant today as at any time in history. So the combination of all that stuff makes Won't Get Fooled Again my favorite Who track, and makes this album super important to me. Who's next?
Oh, and finally, my favorite thing is Monsters. You don't have to watch Netflix. You can actually sit there, listen to records, and when you're done with looking at the liner notes, you can read graphic comics. Okay, this was fun. Thanks, y'all.
Right on. Thanks for watching, guys.